Welcome to the Bay. Today, we're jumping into a massive head-to-head battle for the 1440p gaming crown. In one corner, we've got NVIDIA's brand new RTX 5070 Ti, and in the other, its incredibly tough predecessor, the RTX 4070 Ti Super. Let's figure out which one belongs in your next rig. So this is the big question every single PC builder's asking right now, right? Do you go all in on the bleeding-edge tech of the new Blackwell architecture, or do you grab the incredible value of the powerful, proven Ada generation? It's a tough call. And just so you know, all the data we're looking at today comes from an awesome deep dive over at bestgpusforgaming.com. All right, let's get right to it. It's the next-gen challenger, the RTX 5070 Ti, with all its Blackwell goodness, going up against the reigning last-gen champ, the RTX 4070 Ti Super. Okay, round one. Let's look at the tail of the tape. We're going to see how these two stack up on paper before we even think about firing up a game. So, looking at the core specs, you can see some really interesting trade-offs. Both cards are packing a hefty 16 gigs of VRAM, which is fantastic for those high-res textures. But here's the twist. The 5070 Ti jumps to the new, faster GDDR7 memory, but it's a little thirstier, pulling around 300 watts. The 4070 Ti Super, on the other hand, sticks with the super reliable GDDR6X and sips a bit less power at 285 watts. And of course, the big one, price. That newer tech costs more, while the 4070 Ti Super often has deals that make it a seriously tempting value. So what does GDDR7 versus GDDR6X really mean when you're in the middle of a game? Well, think of it like this. The new GDDR7 is like having a much wider, faster highway for all that game data. It boosts the effective bandwidth, which means you get smoother performance, especially when you crank up the settings at 1440p or even dip your toes into 4K. All right, enough talk, enough specs. Let's get to the main event, the frame rate fight. We're about to see these two cards go toe-to-toe in some of the most demanding games out there, all at 1440p with the graphics cranks to ultra. Let's see what they've got. First up, we're dropping into the neon-drenched streets of Night City with Cyberpunk 2077, a real system breaker. And you can see it right away. The 5070 Ti pulls ahead, hitting a smooth 110 frames per second. That's a solid 10 FPS lead over the 4070 Ti Super. And trust me, you can feel that difference when the action gets crazy. Now, for something completely different, Warzone, where every single frame is the difference between winning and the gulag. The 5070 Ti really stretches its legs here, pushing an insane 235 FPS. The 4070 Ti Super is no slouch at 215, but that extra 20 frames, that's a real competitive advantage. And what about exploring the vastness of space in Starfield? Well, here, the race gets a lot tighter. The 5070 Ti squeaks out a win at 101 FPS. It's not a huge lead, but it shows a pattern, right? The newer card consistently stays on top, even if it's just by a little bit. So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? When you average it all out, the new RTX 5070 Ti is giving you a really solid 10 to 15% performance boost over the 4070 Ti Super. Now, that might not sound like a revolution, but it's a real, noticeable generational leap that translates to just plain, smoother gameplay. But wait, raw frames are only half the story. We need to talk about what's going on under the hood, the generational features. This is where we get into what future-proofing your rig actually means. The RTX 5070 Ti has a serious ace up its sleeve, the Blackwell advantage. This card is built for what's next. We're talking next-gen ray tracing and tensor cores, which are the brains behind its killer app, DLS4. This new AI tech is going to be a game changer for performance, especially as games start using super complex and realistic lighting. This card is built for tomorrow. But don't you dare count out the Ada powerhouse. The 4070 Ti Super is a known quantity, a proven beast. Its DLSS 3 frame generation is fantastic. Its ray tracing performance is still top tier for today's games, and here's a huge point, that lower 285 watt power draw. That could mean you don't have to buy a brand new power supply, making it a way easier and cheaper upgrade for your current system. So, we've seen the specs, we've seen the benchmarks, and we've talked about the future tech. It's time to make a call. But honestly, there's no single winner here. The right card depends completely on what kind of gamer and what kind of builder you are. Let's just break it down. Ask yourself this, are you a 1440p gamer who needs the absolute highest refresh rates possible? Then yeah, the RTX 5070 Ti is for you. Love playing those big cinematic single-player games upscaled to 4K? Again, the 5070 Ti is your ticket. But if you're a smart builder, a high-end deal hunter looking for the best possible bang for your buck, a discounted RTX 4070 Ti Super is an absolutely brilliant choice. So there you have it. The choice is yours. Cutting-edge power or proven high-end value. If you really want to dig into the nitty-gritty and check the latest real-time prices, you have to visit our source for this breakdown, bestgpusforgaming.com. They've got everything you need to make that final call. Keep it cool and keep building.